Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another C3UG on-demand webcast. How are you, Scott?
Doing good, Colin. I am doing good in sunny Calgary.
Outstanding. So I'm Colin Breckles with Castlebrec, an IBM Premier Partner focused on collaboration. And Scott?
Sure, Scott Mitchell. I'm actually from IBM. I'm part of the technical solutions team covering Canada. So I may or may not have probably talked to a lot of you guys in the past.
Excellent. Scott, what are we covering today?
A hot topic, something that I get asked about quite a bit when I'm out talking to clients. Common thing I get asked is, I've got Domino, I've had it for years. It's rock solid. My team all uses it, but I need some help. I need, I don't want to manage this anymore. I don't have the skill set anymore internally to actually manage Domino. I don't have a great business partner near me. So what can I do? What can we do? Are these apps available in the cloud? And for a long time, I didn't have a really great answer for that question until now. So we brought someone from my team, someone from the IBM team over to talk about what we're doing now with actually these Domino applications in a cloud, in a place that, a secure cloud where you can come in and access them, all under IBM's control, great security and pass with Domino. So, we've got Stuart McKay. Stuart McKay is on the call here today with us, and he's going to go into a little bit of depth about Domino applications in the cloud and actually how they could really help out in this changing landscape of cloud. So,
perfect intro. Welcome, Stu. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me, Colin. Thanks, Scott, for the great intro.
No problem.
Pleasure. It's a relevant topic to our members across Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear it everywhere I go. So.
Brilliant. Well, we'll let you get right at it, Stu.
Okay, thanks. Thanks everyone for the opportunity today. As mentioned, I'm going to be spending some time talking about our application on cloud strategy for Domino. Everywhere I go, actually, the first response is, why did it take you so long to put this type of solution together? We've been asking for it for a long time. So the demand and the desire is certainly there, and I'm going to spend the next few minutes just introducing the team to what IBM Domino applications on cloud are, when we plan to have it available, and really what's included in the offering. So just a few notes quickly. The legal jargon here. We haven't released this yet. There is there might be a few minor tweaks and changes to the offering. So just please keep that in mind as I go through this, that we may slightly change or modify this offering as we get closer to the release. But my intention here is really to release it as I discuss it today in the program. So first off, the cost of maintaining on-premise Domino applications, it continues to grow, and the cost is both financial as well as opportunity costs as well. So, we all as Domino users and customers have applications. Many of our customers have chosen to move their mail to the cloud. And, a lot of customers haven't been able to fully realize their full, business case for moving to the cloud because they continue to have their applications lag on-premise. And one of the challenges around that has always been, finding a place that's a multi-tenant place that provides, a SaaS-like experience, and does it in a way that's what I refer to as like a consumption-based model. So something like, allows customers to really only pay for the capacity or applications that they're truly using in the cloud, and not have to pay for a whole bunch of other things that they don't necessarily use. So our customers are really challenged. They continue to be challenged with not just licensing and infrastructure charges, but also in finding the right people to manage and maintain those environments. Because in many cases, finding the right Domino skills can often be a challenge. So we've introduced Domino applications on cloud. You may hear me refer to it as DAC. It's just the acronym for Domino Apps on Cloud, but really it's a scalable cloud infrastructure for managing your Domino apps. We charge per app per month, so it's a very simple pricing model. And when I refer to apps, I'm really referring to databases. So basically, a customer can count up the number of applications they have, and have a very predictive pricing model for in the cloud. It's all run within our SoftLayer data center. It's operated and managed by the same team that manages and operates Connections Cloud. So from a security and stability perspective, we're top notch. It's best of breed, and we don't take over the ownership of the applications. That's something that our customers can continue to manage and maintain over time. So you can continue to roll out new versions of the application or change the design of the application. And we really manage the underlying Domino platform and the infrastructure itself in a true multi-tenant secure environment.
Now, is the only charge metric the number of databases, or is there any metric like number of users or size or number of documents?
We're really trying to keep this really simple, Colin. Unlike some of our other SaaS offerings that have very complicated, metrics and measurement schemes, we're really just trying to keep this as a per app per month model. There will be some slight changes in how we compute the actual pricing. So obviously we'll work with customers on differentiating the pricing models for production applications versus maybe development and test applications or maybe high availability instances. But in general, the only metric we're going to use is the database, the NSF itself. So moving on to service capabilities, when you look at the service capabilities that we offer within Domino Apps on Cloud, we're gonna, on a per app basis, we'll host one of your Domino application instances. We're gonna maintain the health of it. We support notes, so NRPC access, ICA access, as well as web browser access. So regardless of the type of application you have, and whether it's web enabled or whether it's still a traditional notes-based application, we'll support both access methods for the application. We support the majority of out of the box Domino features as well. So if you're using something like Domino Access Services, or you're using some of the core Domino features, those are all supported as well. One important thing to remember from a security perspective is we encrypt all of the data at rest. On the storage devices as well. So not just within the Domino environment, because we all know that Domino has really, really powerful encryption capabilities of encrypting NSF files, but even at a lower level, all of the data is encrypted at rest. Because it is a multi-tenant environment, we want to make sure that all of our customers' data is secure. So we encrypt it at that level using the brand new SoftLayer data encryption on their Endurance storage technology. We also provide, daily backups and restores. So all of you can be, confident that all of your data on a day-to-day basis is backed up as well. The way we've orchestrated the deployment model within the data center is that each customer will get, dedicated servers to run their applications on. So you don't have to, while it's a multi-tenant environment, from an infrastructure and storage perspective, your actual server that you get will be dedicated to you. So it adds that additional layer of security and confidence for our customers.
So when you say the server, they get their own Domino server instance? Yeah,
they do get their own Domino server instance. It's actually run. I have a follow-on slide that kind of talks about how we've deployed that architecturally, but it's really a Docker image. So we'll be running virtual Docker images for our customers. So again, we'll work with the customer to figure out, what's the right capacity model that we should be working with that customer as far as how many applications should go on each server. So we don't want to penalize customers for, having multiple servers. So we really want to, allow customers to have, highly utilized applications, maybe get a dedicated server, and then applications that aren't used a lot. We've stress tested this up to, over 1,500 concurrent users on a single Docker image. So, it can certainly scale from that perspective as well.
So, and that's good. So that includes the LEI, like Lotus Enterprise Integrator, all those tools, like you just said. I'm asking a leading question here because I know a lot of the people that are watching this also have LEI running with their Domino applications. So
yeah, we can support some of those areas. So it's best to talk to us to make sure that you know, the add-on or the plugin component that you plan to use is supported within this environment. The other option we have is if this exact, you know, offering isn't suitable because you're using you know, a specific plugin or a specific, you know, third-party tool, we can always build what I would refer to as like a private instance of this as well. That would give you more flexibility and more capabilities where you could run it yourself. But in this instance, yeah, we're you know, we do have some sort of guidelines in a frequently asked questions document that I have at the end of the presentation that kind of goes into more details and of what's supported and what's not supported as well. And then the other, you know, the other area is really around reporting and sort of governance. So we're providing monthly status reports so customers can understand, you know, the applications that are being used, what the storage size is, you know, how are they growing, how are they shrinking, those types of things to help customers understand sort of their measurement within the cloud. Some of the other things that we offer as optional add-ons as well is, you know, development and test instances. So I talked about that a little bit earlier, where you know, we want to be able to allow customers to move their entire Domino environments into the cloud and not have any remnants on premise. So you know, that can include, you know, development and test instances as well as high availability instances. So if customers want to cluster them across multiple data centers, that's possible as well. You know, I talked about some of the out-of-the-box features as well around Deos and Domino Access Services as well. We do actually encourage customers to bring their own certifier, their own OU certifier as well. So very similar to how it works in Smart Cloud Notes, you can bring your own Domino OU certifier, and we'll create all of the servers based on that within your environment. You can also bring your own SSL certificates as well. So we're really trying to make it, you know, as flexible and as expansive as possible for our customers. Just moving on to, you know, where are we starting this offering from? We're looking at three data centers right now to launch this in 2017, and then we're looking at future locations as well as potential candidates as well. So that our first data centers we plan to launch are in Dallas, Tokyo, and Frankfurt. So these are really being driven by where our current customer, you know, base is for Domino applications. But we do recognize that there are, you know, customers in other regions that may have data residency challenges as well, that they may need data centers in their regions as well. So we're certainly evaluating that as well. And we may actually reprioritize these based on sort of where our first customers come out. One thing to note is that we have completely automated the deployment model for the actual data centers themselves. So our ability to spin up a new data center in the soft layer, or even in a business partner data center, is fairly simple and in fact fairly inexpensive as well. So, you know, if we can find you know, an order of magnitude in a particular region that could justify, you know, the hosting of a data center there, then certainly we'd be more than interested in entertaining that type of location as well. So there's a whole bunch of benefits to this program. You know, I talked at the beginning about some of the challenges that our customers have around maintaining their Domino apps on premise, but when you start to move them to the cloud, you really start to see some tremendous benefits. And obviously, the most obvious one is your traditional, you know, capex to opex, you know, expenditure benefit that all cloud solutions have. So certainly, you know, reducing capital expenditures for our customers is a huge benefit here. You know, I talked already about you know, our best of breed cloud hosting and containerization technologies. So, you know, you can be rest assured that this platform is being maintained at the same sort of rigors and quality levels as Smart Cloud Notes and Connections Cloud and Verse are. You know, you're reducing your dependence on you know, finding Domino skills, which you know, in this market, it can be a challenge. You're competing with other companies to acquire those skills, and they can be expensive and very difficult to find as well. The fourth bullet there around aligning with a true cloud strategy, I think this one's critical. Regardless of where a customer has chosen to, migrate their mail, and regardless of who they've chosen as their cloud partner, a lot of those customers have not been able to realize, the true benefits of moving to the cloud because they continue to have Domino applications on premise. I talk to customers, week in and week out that have moved their mail to the cloud, 2-3 years ago, that continue to have Domino applications on premise and continue to have to manage and maintain, infrastructure on premise. And I think with this offering, we're finally breaking through that barrier and that hurdle, and we're going to be able to allow our customers to really realize that benefit. So regardless of whether the customer runs in Verse, whether they run in, Gmail, or whether they run in Office 365, we can help them. We can get them, get their Domino applications moved to the cloud and get them into a more cost-effective model moving forward. And just on that point as well, scaling up and scaling down, we provide that flexibility of, if customers are looking at, migrating some of their Domino apps to, Bluemix, as an example, as a runtime environment, and you're going to kind of migrate them over time, well, we can build a model that allows you to kind of scale that down over time in the cloud. So it's very useful. As well, if you're a customer and you don't want to, jump all into this initially, and you want to kind of, try this out on a few applications, well, absolutely, we can move those applications into the cloud, and then you can scale that up over time as well. I already mentioned, the fact that we continue to allow you to own the design of your applications, and you can update it as needed. So that gives our customers total flexibility around continuing to run their business and ensuring the lines of business have, direct access into these applications and can make the appropriate changes as needed. And we'll provide, monthly reports, both on the health and usage, as well as a very predictable cost charge model as well on a month-to-month basis. I mentioned it already on security, but I just to reinforce this, because this is top of mind with all of our customers, especially in Canada, with regulations, is security is one of our top priorities. So we provide security through the entire fabric of this solution, from perimeter security into the data centers, through network security, weekly penetration testing, how we store the data at rest, how we store the data, while it's in transit. All of those things are encrypted. We isolate the data so that, only a customer has access to their data and no one else. And we separate the segments of the network out to ensure that, no external user or client has direct access into an application server. So, rest assured, the security that, architecture that we've put in place here is top notch, and it complies with, the standards that are laid out by the IBM CIO's office as well. So we're continually audited and reviewed to ensure that we adhere to that standard. So how do we do this? I just want to take a little peek under the covers, so you can get an idea of what this really looks like. But really, we're changing the way that we deploy Domino into the cloud, and we're leveraging Docker to do it. So basically, we've built this concept of pods, application pods, and within each pod, we run Domino Docker images. So this allows us the flexibility of providing a true multi-tenant environment where we share a lot of the infrastructure components, whether it be firewalls or monitoring services or SMTP services, or even the underlying storage infrastructure. It allows us a truly multi-tenant environment, and allows us the flexibility of building automation and orchestration around the Docker images as well. So we can, in the matter of minutes, we can spin up, fully configured Domino instances, because we're running them, in Docker and Docker containers, and that full infrastructure is completely automated from our perspective. So it's very unique. It's a new way of sort of deploying Domino into the cloud, and we're able to really reap a lot of the benefits of that. Pricing and licensing. So I just wanted to, spend a couple minutes, I'm near the end of the presentation here, but just talk a little bit about, the sales model and how we see this going to market. So a few things is, I already mentioned it's a per database per month model. We will be looking at a 1-year commitment for most of our customers. And, we're still working on the pricing, that the pricing should be finalized towards the end of October. Right now, it's a bring your own licensing model. So what that means is, customers can bring, their existing Domino licenses into our cloud environment and utilize them, whether they be enterprise server or utility servers. And actually, we're working on sort of standardizing on a common server configuration. Right now, we're looking at either 280 or 400 PVUs per server. I know it mentions here 400, but we may actually change that to 280 PVUs just to make it more flexible for our customers.
And what about Express, Stu? Is Express okay as well?
I believe Express is okay as well. Yeah, Express can be supported as well. Just keep in mind that I'm not sure of the client access license, requirements for Express, but assuming that you're compliant on that side of things from a server perspective, we're fine.
Yeah, well, with Express, they don't have to track PVUs. It's just authorized user. It gives them the client and the server. So I didn't know if there was anything unique about this.
It's just like the, exactly. Yeah. Good point, Colin.
Yeah.
Like Collaboration Express or the CEO bundle, same thing.
One other noteworthy point for customers that have done dual entitlement. Dual entitlement provides access to Domino Enterprise Server and Domino Enterprise Client access. And I don't believe that's a metered access. I don't believe they're obligated to count PVUs anymore. We might want to double check that, but that's my understanding. So DE customers like that they don't have to do that anymore.
Yep, and we're okay with that as long as they continue to stay active on their DE. That's fine with us.
Yeah. Super. That could be really attractive for customers because they're not paying for those PVUs anymore. It's swallowed up by the DE, so the combined offering could be really attractive.
Yeah. Well, as a little secret here, just for this group, our long-term goal is actually to roll in the licensing into this offering so that customers don't even have to worry about it anymore. So that might be a roadmap item for us, maybe next year. But right now, the quickest way to market for this offering is a bring your own licensing model. And then as a future add-on, we may add another part number that's more of an all-inclusive model that includes all of the appropriate licensing as well. And that'll really give our customers a lot of flexibility in how they kind of do it. So customers with existing licensing can bring it until, it's up for renewal, and then they can roll into like an all-inclusive model as well. Just a few other things, we're looking at minimums. So minimum, 10 applications, so 10 NSF files. And, we're looking at about a November. It's subject to change, but right now we're on track for all of our approvals to get a part number out and into the market in November. So we're really excited about that as well. So finally, just, I really, went through this quickly. So I'm sure that, everybody has a lot of other questions and comments about this. Just a couple links in my presentation. We have a really great video, like a little promotional video that kind of goes through a lot of highlights of the offering. So I've included the URL here as well as the FAQ that kind of answers a lot of the questions around, how big can my databases be, and how does bring your own certificates work, that type of thing. It answers a lot of those questions as well. And then if you're really interested in this, by all means, please reach out to your local business partner or your local ICS, sales representative as well. They can answer a lot of your questions as well, and we can get you to the cloud even quicker. So, Colin,
you're a good man. You beat me to it.
Okay, yeah, a little plug there, but yeah, and just Colin, thanks so much for having me on this. It's really exciting, and I love talking to you guys about this. So.
It's a pleasure to have you. And Scott and myself are both core members of the C3UG, along with other business partners and IBMers. So we're all grateful, and it's useful to our audience for sure.
Absolutely. I know there's a lot of Domino application customers here in Canada, and I'm Canadian myself, so I wanted you to be the first to hear about this. So.
Thank you. Customers watching, if there's any questions at all, this video will be posted on the c3ug.ca website, where we will have comments enabled. You can post your questions there. If you post your question there, the benefit of that is others will see your question and any responses. If it's something unique to your environment and you just don't want to share it publicly, reach out to any of us. We can put you in touch with the right person.
Good stuff, guys. Very good.
Any further questions for Stu? Scott, did you have anything?
No. Oh, yeah, Stu, what about, so we had our last webcast was a chat with Phil from Trilog about Darwino.
Okay.
How does that fit into this, people who want to do some application modernization and that type of thing with some of those emerging tools, like Phil's, and was the other Sappho is the other one, I believe?
Sappho and Darwino, yeah.
How does that play into this?
Yeah, so it's there's a lot of synergy there. Not just with those tools around modernizing them and sort of, you know, making them web enabled and making them more user friendly and cloud friendly for the end users, but also in you know, helping customers identify what applications they want to modernize and what applications, you know, are being used. Because I think, you know, it's easy to talk about moving apps to the cloud, but there will be a rationalization process that every customer has to go through, right? Around figuring out, you know, well, if IBM is going to charge me X number of dollars per app, you know, I kind of want to figure out which applications I want to keep, which ones I want to retire, which ones I want to modernize and sort of improve. So those partners can definitely help you with those things. And as well as, you know, another one I'll mention as well is PanAgenda, right? Around you know, application insights. So we have been working with PanAgenda on developing a unique you know, AI filter specifically for apps on cloud. So what that will allow our customers to do is really, you know, acquire the application insights technology and then, you know, really run a report on their environment that gives them, you know, the information that they need to make sort of quick decisions around, you know, who's using the apps, which ones are the easy ones. You know, we always talk about which apps are the hard ones and the ones we need to worry about. But in this type of offering, you're more looking at, well, which are the easy apps to move to the cloud, right? Where's the low-hanging fruit to really realize my ROI? And that tool can definitely help. I don't have the exact dates on when that filter will be available, but again, it should be aligning pretty closely with when our offering's out to market as well.
Well, incidentally, customers, IBM Domino customers, have a limited entitlement to, I guess, a partial entitlement to PanAgenda Application Insights. That's already an entitlement you have as a customer.
Yeah.
So if you haven't used it or don't know how to take advantage of it, that might be something you want to look into.
Talk to me.
Talk to Scott.
If you do want to use it, that's a great plug. If you're a current Domino customer under SNS, yeah, you can talk to me and I can set you up with our team that will, what we call internally, and what I'll probably talk to you about is called Domino Double Check. And we are using PanAgenda's tools to help you out with that, to do exactly what Stu just said. It's kind of us prioritize and make sure that the apps that you've got are safe, they're being utilized properly, and they're ready to go. So that's a great plan. So you can talk to me about that, or like I said, contact us via the website. So
Scott's got lots of time.
Tons. Oh, yes. Luckily, we have a great team that will be doing it for you.
So Scott just has to throw the ball for you.
That's right. I got to make the intro. So, but anyways, Domino Double Check is what it's called.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, outstanding session. Thanks a million, Stu, and thank you, Scott. We'll get this out to our members.
I'll definitely come back as this continues to evolve and share it with the team and the community.